If you think you're happy it's Friday, imagine how the people involved in the AJ Armstrong murder case must feel. They have spent the week going through the painstaking process of interviewing dozens of potential jurors, one by one, to select a panel of 12. Most of you know Armstrong is accused of shooting and killing his parents in their sleep when he was just 16 years old. This is a picture of them here during happier times. It's the third trial for Armstrong, and this time around, we're approaching our coverage a little differently. We call our coverage The Bench. KPRC2 reporter Rilwan Balogun is part of the team producing this layered approach, offering a variety of short and long-term exclusive content. Rilwan is here this morning, joining us now. Thank you so much for coming in to chat about this. I know this is a major undertaking. It's a unique approach, an approach that we haven't done before. We learned through The Bench last week this interview process is called voir dire. A term that some people are even calling voir dire here in Texas. Bring us up to speed on where we are with this in this case.
Yeah, so yesterday was kind of a big step. We have gotten our, I think it was 48 people who will finally move to the final process of this whole thing, who will then determine who the 12 jurors and alternates are. This is after 3 weeks of different panels of over 200 people coming in just to see if there'll be a possibility of making the final jury. So yesterday was a big day. We're done with interviewing the prospective jurors, except for one who has to come back this morning because they may have learned some things they weren't supposed to and may have discussed something about the case at work. So that's what the court was trying to figure all out this morning.
And so the attorneys will have to, ask another series of questions to see what it is that they know or don't know. What else do we know about this panel so far? Yeah,
so they range in ages. We have people 16, it ranges from, 19 to about 69 years old. And those are only from the people who self-described it and gave their age while they were during this whole voir dire process. We have people who work in the oil and gas industry, commercial attorneys, cybersecurity experts, and a whole lot of people in just various careers through this whole process, learning a lot about them, or the whole process is trying to learn about them so the attorneys can figure out who they think can be fair and impartial through this whole court case.
I know, taking us along on this journey has been a learning process, not only for you, but for our producers working on this case, and of course our audience members tuning in. Any surprises in court yesterday for you?
So that person who I referenced, who has to come back this morning, they called the bailiff that, I think a day beforehand, telling the bailiff, hey, my boss talked about the case, made some connection about Kincaid High School, that their kids may have gone to Kincaid, and why Kincaid is important is because AJ Armstrong went to Kincaid and was at Kincaid at the time. So prosecutors were basically like, well, Kincaid High School wouldn't have popped up if your boss didn't know you were possibly going to be a juror on this trial.
Wow.
So that's what they're going to try and figure out exactly this morning, what that discussion was like.
Because there could be a potential relationship there that might not have been disclosed previously.
Right, maybe. And what we don't know is if these possible kids went to school at the same time with AJ. So that's what they're going to try and figure out this morning. And another thing, the whole big point of this is trying to get people who know nothing about the case. And we've learned that TikTok was brought up yesterday for the first time through this whole process. One of the prospective jurors mentioned that she was on TikTok because that's where she gets a lot of her news. And she saw something about the case, heard a few seconds where someone said he's innocent, come to trial, come to the opening statements on June 5th. And then she said she immediately scrolled away. So this is all trying to figure out who knows nothing about this case. This case has been in the news for years.
Which is so tough because it's been in the news for years, and it's been here in Houston time after time after time. So that is all very interesting. We've talked about this before, but one reason the judge is handling jury selection so carefully is because the two previous trials, both ending in a hung jury. What is it that, is interesting about our bench that could lead us to more information about what a hung jury is?
Yeah, so our bench, we have a whole series, I think, where they would describe what a hung jury is. As you mentioned, the last 2 trials reached no verdict because the jurors couldn't come to a decision, consensus decision. And through the whole research of this case, I know I'm listening in during this whole voir dire process. I'm hearing the question prosecutors are asking, and they're basically trying to make sure that this group of jurors can come to some decision, guilty or not guilty.
Right. They don't want to repeat.
They don't want to do
They
this
don't want a
again.
turkey.
Yeah.
We're talking bowling terms, right?
They don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
So they're really trying to press down and hound on these people in the nicest way possible.
You know, this truly is a sport. It's a game, and it's trying to win that game. One of the many features of the bench is a playlist of video shorts explaining sometimes tricky legal concepts. We want to listen into host of this show, Joel Eisenbaum, explain how you get a hung jury. Take a listen.
How do you get a hung jury? Well, each jury for criminal cases consists of 12 peers. Those jurors are handpicked by lawyers before a trial starts. The thought is they can render a verdict solely on the facts of a case. All jurors need to be in unison when deciding a defendant's guilt or innocence. Sometimes the jurors end up in a deadlock. Sometimes a judge will issue more time or answer questions that pop up to help jurors make a decision. But if they remain in deadlock, the case can end in a hung jury because the jury can't reach a unanimous decision. Hung juries often lead to a retrial of a case.
And in this situation, we're now going on a third retrial. So we call these videos, if you're curious, Anatomy of a Trial. And at the end of each video, you can actually leave a comment and suggestions on other legal terms you might want to be better explained. I know, again, this is a foreign language to so many of us.
It's a foreign language to me.
Right.
So I had to look up all of these
You got to do
terms.
your homework, right?
A lot of homework.
And in that, you're now, educating folks on what it is that you learned, which, that's what we do as journalists. If we don't understand something, then we can't explain it to you. And so that's the beauty of, asking those simple, basic questions that, some might call silly or even stupid at times, but they're really not.
I ask the attorneys often, okay, dumb this down.
Yeah, right? Yes.
What does this
layman's terms
mean?
You want to know what,
Because they know all these jargons and they're throwing it all over the place. I tell them, I don't know what that means. If I don't know what that means, the audience won't know what it means.
And there's nothing more intimidating than language that you don't understand. What's next in this case, Rilwan?
So May 31st. That is, I believe, a Wednesday. That is when we will learn who will actually make the jury, the 12 people and possible alternates. We don't know how many alternates the judge will decide, but that is when both sides will have 10 strikes, and which basically means they'll say, don't need to explain, we don't want this person, we don't want this person. Each will have 10 times to do that. And then at the end of it, we are supposed to get to at least 12 jurors. That's going to be May 31st. And then on June 1st, we're going to have another episode of The Bench kind of explaining more of this jury selection and what happens on that May 31st date.
And where we're at. Are we on time from the initial plan?
We should be. We should be.
Okay.
Opening statements should begin June 5th at 10:30. And they're hoping to end the whole thing no later than June 28th.
Okay. We so much appreciate you waking up early, coming in. I know you've been extremely busy with this case, and we appreciate the hard work you're doing on it. Thank you very much, Rilwan. We have additional exclusive content on our website that allows you to spend as much or as little time as you want with this case. You'll find it all right now at clicktohouston.com/thebench. Rilwan, thank you very much, sir.